did you really go to immersion if you didn't cry at least once? Parents, what you know, it's enough. It's enough to like just repeat it to your kids. They know, they listen, they retain. They got really nice spongy brains when they're so small.
Ani, all you deadly people, welcome back to the nswi nenda-gikenjiged Anishinaabe Mud podcast. There was already a recording error on my part. Holy, just a mess over here. But that reminded me about our language journeys. There's so much things to come in the way or push something and something happened. But here we are again, re-recording. But today we have Bnehns on as our guest. And then we also have other Miigwech. I'll let you introduce yourself again. And then we'll go ahead and get started.
Então, aí acho que ainda jogas boxing da onde ba na coach one on me got da me can knock and go down.
She can quen dis na cause so they can do dam meg na one de ben dogus mean one do jaba mean one de da megwa is in vegan any quen dow me.
Miigwech. We'll turn that back over to you, Bnehns, to go ahead and introduce yourself, share how you're feeling today, and on second take, what are the feelings, and a little bit about you.
Now, Jacqueline, Miigwech. All right, Ani, Bnehns Indigenous Cause, Chiking, Nonjaba, Anishinaabe Quen Dao, Benedo Dem.
Miigwech. So, one of our first question is, can you describe your journey to learning Anishinaabe Moan and what are the different classrooms you have learned in?
Ooh, okay. My learning journey started pretty early. It started in the womb. My understanding is that my dad was on his language journey when I was, really started to like push for language and work towards language when he learned that I was going to be born and that I was going to arrive very soon, 9 months. On the way, when I was on the way. So I got to hear language in the womb, which was awesome. And growing up, I learned when I was very young. I overheard my dad in a podcast saying that like when I was maybe about 3 or 4, like he tried speaking the language to me, and then I freaked out and got very like Zagus. I did it probably because I was little and didn't know what was happening and never heard Anishinaabe before, because we were in Toronto at that time, and maybe we probably weren't in contact with a lot of speakers at that time. So I freaked out, and I think that freaked him out, understandably. But I think that what was it? But there were still little bits of language dropped throughout my childhood. More so when we moved up to Manitoulin, but prior to that, when we lived in Toronto, we would go to the Native Canadian Centre of Toronto quite a bit, and there was a Thursday social, kind of like a mini powwow that we would go to, and just for that like cultural connection. But also, I believe my grandpa lived at there's a building across the street called Wigwamising. I forget what it's called. But anyways, we went to the Native Canadian Centre of Toronto quite a bit when I was young. And eventually, when I was 5 and about to go into turning 6 and about to go into grade 1, that's when I moved up to my community, to Chiking First Nation. And that was when I heard a lot more language because I was surrounded by my aunties, my grandparents. My grandparents were both fluent speakers, and my aunties were in early childhood education, so they were. I think that's where they got a lot of also just growing up with 2 parents who spoke fluently. They picked up little bits of language, so I would hear little things like bozin or what else. Trying to think of other things that I might have heard, but just little bits of language here and there. So I grew up with a lot of little bits of language, but never learning how to string things together. And that was the same thing that happened when I went to elementary school on the reserve. So we had Ojibwe class, and we learned like our nouns and our numbers and weather, but we never learned grammar. And so that was the little that's bit of my language journey so far. Yeah. And when I turned and I was kind of learning, like I was waiting to like learn the language, not really understanding like the nuances that were maybe creating barriers to accessing language, like language learning. And it was always something that I thought I would acquire. And then all of a sudden I was like 18 and moved out and in Toronto and like, oh, that went by really quickly. I guess I didn't learn my language. Oh, maybe that'll come along. And so it wasn't until I was like, it wasn't until February 2020 when I moved to Toronto, back to Toronto, that I decided to go back to the Native Canadian Centre of Toronto to because I saw they were having Ojibwe class there, and I knew I was losing like what I'd learned. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I could use a review of my colors, numbers, and animals. and lo and behold, it was Nenotic, and that's how I first met Nenotic. Was at the Native Canadian Centre of Toronto, and that was when he whipped out the charts of how to conjugate different verbs, and then that's when I realized, oh, that's the missing piece that that's the piece that I'm missing. I didn't know that it was called grammar. And that was what I was looking for all this time. And so, yeah, that was in February 2020 when I went to his first class. And then March 2020 happened and I wasn't able to continue because that's when the pandemic hit. So we did transition to Zoom, and Nenotic did that actually really seamlessly, as you guys know, because we were on Zoom. Like he can teach very well on Zoom and be very engaging. But I think I must have caught COVID kind of early because I remember getting very sick and very tired, and it was just too much to like go on Zoom. So yeah, that was when I first learned of Nenotic, and I enjoyed his teaching style and his humor. So when I saw that this opportunity was available, the B&B program, I took it. Also because we got our RHT, and I wanted to use my money to like. I wanted to use my money to learn language. Yeah.
I love that too. Miigwech. One of the other questions is, what are the first words or memories you remember hearing or experiencing in Anishinaabe? You shared a little bit of how your dad would speak to you in the womb. Yeah. If there's any other ones.
Oh yeah, like I remember, and it was interesting. So like parents, like if you're speaking to your kids, just keep in mind that they remember. Like there was a time where I lived in London for a little bit. This was prior to me meeting Nenotic. I lived in London for a little bit, and me and my friend who had a car, we drove all the way to Chippewa of the Thames to attend a Anishinaabe class, and that was taught by Ozawa actually. And it was just me, her, and maybe two other people, but we were playing Uno. And then all these words started coming back to me like, oh, and then like I was like, I think we were playing Uno. I know we were playing like a card game. It might have been Go Fish, it might have been something else. And then I was like, oh, I don't know where this is coming from, but and Ozawa was kind of nodding at me as I was saying different things. So it's like, I think I'm saying something right, unless he was being really nice.
Being nice.
Every day nswi.
They just don't want to tell me. Oh my gosh.
nswi. Yeah, and then I remember Dorothy also taught us Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and I'm like, oh, like I could say that one quite confidently too. And so it's like, oh, where's this coming from? And it's because my dad sang it to me when I was a little kid. So like, yeah, so parents, what you know, it's enough. It's enough to like just repeat it to your kids. They know, they listen, they retain. They got really nice spongy brains when they're so small. But yeah, first words that I actually remember. It's I can't remember the first word.
That's
but,
okay. That's okay. I don't remember either.
But I always like this one because I just learned that it was an Ojibwe word, but it was a word that we would use in class all the time when we were kids. But yeah, the word we would use was mba, like to express like I don't even know. I don't know how that translates. It's like there's like an ominous tone to it, like someone gets sent to the principal's office and be like, "Amba."
Like an emphasizer. Context driven.
Context driven.
Every kid listening gotta go find it because I don't know it either.
But I love that because that's one of my memories because like it was all the kids knew that word and we knew it just from like context. And I don't know if they know it's an Ojibwe word, but it is. But yeah, I feel really lucky. I feel really lucky that I grew up in my community and knowing my community and like even though sometimes it was really hard, but like it was but little moments like that where like the culture was just kind of like so seamlessly integrated into like my childhood that I was lucky enough to not recognize that it was like Anishinaabemowin until much later in life when I was actually like studying it. So yeah, that's something that I reflect on quite a bit, and I hope that's still continuing on in my communities. That seamless integration of culture and language.
Can you remind me which teacher you asked about Mba? Like, what did it mean? Or like, if it was...
Oh, like when we were in class?
Yeah.
I asked Marianne.
Oh, Marianne.
Yeah, when we had that class with her.
I thought it was her. I wanted to check, but I remember when you asked her, and watching on Zoom, I'm just happy to see everyone's face. So I'd be like, turn on your cameras. But I remember when you asked that question, these lights, like you literally lit up in that confirmation of like, oh my goodness, these words are our words. And we were automatically already using them. And so I guess that kind of goes into a part of the questions of like, well, how did it make you, like, how did you feel when you used use the language? And to me, to watch the confirmation for me live, when you're like, this is Anishinaabe, like this is Anishinaabe, and like it was awesome to experience because I'm like, I have those moments, but it's like slang,
right? Yeah.
But like, and I gotta watch you just experience. Oh my goodness, I did know this, and like it was basically when she was explaining it, she was kind of saying like it's a little bit older and we don't really use it and we don't hear it, but you were able to bring that back into the space, and she's like, oh yeah, like I remember that. But also want to acknowledge you sharing that about that for parents. Like they may not notice, the kids, their babies may not notice, but it is making an impact. You're just gonna have us aunties crying over here. I teared up. But seriously, like it does have an impact. And for those who are listening later on in episode 6, we have 2 young ones. Ooh. We have Bear and Max, Ashley's littles. They're on there. You're gonna get a little bit of that from them. They kind of don't fully know how much they have access to, but they do. So that's exciting. We get also an additional generation and a few episodes away. Stay tuned. We did talk a little bit about BNB, Bidawe Demawad, Nimking Bidabong. And that's how we all know you, or got to know you, was through this program. And so one of the questions are, in your own experience this past year and now you're teaching, so what has that felt like for you right now? And having a cohort of students, what has that felt like?
It's having a cohort has been like so essential, and I think it will continue to be essential as we move on in our language journeys, because like we need people to talk to and people we're comfortable like practicing with, and people we know who are working towards speaking the language, but also just like you alluded to, Jacqueline, like seeing everybody's face. Like there are times where it's very hard to like show up every day. Well, maybe not every day. It was real. It's sometimes really hard to show up every day, and but you guys made it easier, and it was, and of course Nenda-gikenjiged put in a lot of effort to like make it easy to come to class every day and show up and try to be your best and do the best that you can. So yeah, having a cohort was like super pivotal to like maintaining, and I think. Because I tried to take nenda-gikenjiged class when I was working. Me and a couple other people from work would drive from downtown Toronto to another spot in downtown Toronto, which was very difficult to get to on time. But yeah, it wasn't sustainable, and which was unfortunate because I really wanted this grammar piece. But having a cohort that you could practice with, that you have to meet up in person, where there's intentionally time set aside to like do different exercises and practice speaking to each other was like so core and crucial. Like I think if me and my work people continued, I don't know if we would have that same sort of like discipline, because it was at the end of a long work day, and to that like structure to like, okay, now let's practice after we've gone to class and after we've done work, and like it was just too much. So like having the cohort was like key to like our language journey.
Ashley talked a little bit about accountability. That's what was like helpful. All of the things you shared, but in addition to that, like that accountability. There's others like in a way depending on you to show up so that we can be a cohort. And so I hear that in what you're sharing.
True.
Like,
there's only you want to switch up how you answer when nswi is
what if me don't switch it? Just say it with a smile. Oh my gosh. My teachers are probably like, oh, Jack. Oh, wow. The second part of that question was like a little bit of like, how do you feel teaching right now?
Miigwech. We're in the middle of teaching.
We are.
A wonderful cohort of students ourselves. It's been really hard. I was sharing this with Miigwech, like the imposter syndrome's real. It's like, who am I to like teach the language? But I mean, we need more teachers, and if you're
absolutely,
and that's pretty meaningful. I think there is a sort of like a responsibility you kind of take when you get to a certain place in the language and know how certain things work. There's sort of a responsibility to pass that on in whatever capacity that you can. So yeah, it's but it's really difficult. Teaching is there's a whole bunch of things and baggage that comes with teaching the language, both internal and external, and it's been a lot.
It is, and it's hard. And also, like, I think the beautiful thing about what we're doing right now is we have that support, like you said, that cohort, and to be able to lean into that. I feel this, all of us feel the same way of like, wait, what am I doing teaching, right? But like you shared a little bit, is like, there is that responsibility to take it up, right? There is that just, okay, well, we want to see our language thrive, so how are we going to be a part of it thriving? It is hard though. I'm like questioning it too, but let me keep these questions to you.
I want to hear what you think, Jack. I've been meaning to like touch base with you, but we've just been so busy. That's the other thing. We're just during this teaching cohort, we just like there's just not enough time in the day sometimes. Like we just
there is it prepping all the things.
Prepping.
If anything, it's given
reworking.
us reworking, shifting, pivoting. Finding good words to say. Oh, I messed up. Pivoting. Coded pivoting. No, you're so right in that too, and it's just like you just gotta keep showing up. I was joking. I think it was with you, Ashley, the other day. I was like, Or maybe it was Tammy, Tammy, who I'm co-teaching with. She's like lead teacher, really, and I'm like a TA, and I am grateful for this.
That's how I feel too. Actually, yeah, I'm just like, well, that's how I wanted to show up, and was like,
Miigwech. I'm like, I don't have these examples. I'm gonna get my students more lost, and it works for us. But I was telling her maybe yesterday, it might have been you, Ashley, or Tammy. I don't remember. Time's going crazy. And anyway, I was like, I think I gotta switch careers.
Oh, I remember you saying that.
Shoot, see how mixed up I am. I said it to Miigwech, I forgot. Probably gonna tell everybody, but I was like,
I think you told us that last night.
I don't remember.
I remember that too.
The timing is flying and it's a mess, and I'm like, I haven't even started. But it feels like that, because it's like exactly like you're saying, is like, it's hard work. What am I doing this? I don't know, but I'm gonna keep showing up.
I'm gonna keep showing up.
I'm already trying to change a career. Literally hasn't started. Still a TA. Tammy wouldn't tell you that though, but that's what's happening. But I'm grateful.
Oh yeah, it's really hard.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's really rewarding.
Yep.
Yeah, like Ashley and I texted Ashley this as soon as I heard it. Like I went to the bathroom and inside it was like No, not yet. I walked into the bathroom and I recognized someone from the cohort we just taught, and they were singing the nswi song in front of their friend,
yeah.
and I was like, and I know this person was having a hard time earlier, and like so like to hear
have that little moment.
And have that little moment to themselves with like and like so that was awesome. That made my day. I'm like, okay. So yeah, that really that was really awesome. Really rewarding stuff.
And you guys got to see it, because you literally taught them that 5 minutes before 8, like that morning. Or I don't remember.
Morning rotation.
Morning rotation.
Well,
I mean, that's also us. Like, I think a part of this podcast is to have those honest conversations of like, this is very hard work, but we can laugh about it, we can cry together, and like, that is also how I show up, and I want to help make that space like to be not accessible, but like it just exists, right? And that's like why we're not doing this alone. That's why you Miigwech are also here too, is just to be able to listen and have that because holy, it'd be hard if I was just sitting here feeling all those things but not saying it aloud, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we want to highly encourage all you listeners,
totally.
right? Is to kind of create that your community in itself and being honest. And if anything, what we're talking about right now is showing us we're not alone in it. Like,
totally.
We're all going through that and teaching right now, but like, feeling those things.
Yeah. It's also hard to like, because the Nautic's really big on like modeling, right? And so it's also really hard to like model being a good student when you just want to give up and like moshkine, like but it's important that we show up for our own learning as well, and
absolutely
even when we don't want to, when we're like moshkine.
That's more than half the battle, is showing up willing to learn. That's like the hardest part. I'm super quiet. That's the thing that's so in the language, and it's
not you say so much more than you did the first
so
time we met
funny.
at the first gathering.
You guys are so kind.
No, really,
It's
you do say
damn way.
All of us.
Yeah.
All of us. And I've loved that because you guys, we've done this together and literally got to see each other grow. Like, it's been awesome because you can just see how much we can talk to each other and know how much more you know, right? And that wasn't the first one. I don't even remember speaking the first one. I don't remember. Just growing up.
Yeah.
One of the other questions is, might be the same question. You don't have to answer. You can if you don't, if you want to or not. But what has it meant for you to be in the Bidawe Mawad Nimking Bidabang program and your own goals, and kind of achieving those? Like, how's it?
Yeah. So I wanted to join. Well, one of the things that also brought me, like, rerouted me back onto my language journey was that, like, in healthcare, they're really big on, like, getting Indigenous people into healthcare. And so I was like, okay, like, I think I could, like, I wanted to be a dietitian. And so that's what I went to school for, yada, yada, yada. And so it's like, I don't know what separates me from, like, I know I'm an Indigenous dietitian, but I don't really know what that really means exactly, and, like, how that translates into my practice. And I knew a big component of what I wanted to incorporate was, like, language work into my practice. And so this was like this was an opportunity to, like, get me to integrate more language into nutrition and healthcare. That was a big reason why I wanted to take this program as well. Plus, I think I just needed a bit of a timeout. Not that language is a timeout, but it's like it's a pivot. It's a pivot.
It uses a different part of your brain, all of the things. And
So in terms of my long-term goals, I want to. I'm starting a new job, and they seem very enthusiastic.
I'm so excited for you.
You helped. Yeah, Jacqueline helped me with my interview.
I did get the job.
Oh my gosh. Like, they called me the next day. It was crazy.
Yeah, because Vanessa's that good.
No, mean. Oh.
But also you can see your intentions, and I think that's what you carry too. And so, like, all of that is embedded in what you do.
Oh, Miigwech. So I'm like, they're like super, like, they're super excited and, like, receptive to, like, the ideas that I have. So yeah, I'm excited to get started, even though it's going to be a lot of work after this couple of weeks. I'm like, teaching language is that's a different part of my brain, and that's a lot of work. But you know, it's going to be worth it. I think there's a lot of healing that can happen when we learn our language, and I think that should be a part of healthcare.
See, you just have us crying. If it's not laughing with tears, it's crying for real. Maybe that's our slogan. Hey, all you deadly people, you want to laugh with tears or for real? So, kind of moving on to some of the other questions are reflecting on your own community. Who has access to learning Anishinaabe and what might learning look like in your own community? Yeah, I'm lucky enough to belong to Chiging First Nation, and there's lots of opportunities, and there's still a fair amount of speakers, fluent first language speakers within my community, which is fantastic. We also have, like, an educational institute called Kenjigem. And they offer a bunch of different Anishinaabe Miigwech, actually, different programs for introduction to Anishinaabe, and then I think going forward there's, like, a part 2, so beyond introduction. I don't know when that's coming out, but in terms of who has access to it, I know there's, like, things like bursaries available for attending. The thing, and then I was talking to Pina, and this was kind of, like, surprising to me, but, like, there's no Anishinaabe teacher at Lakeview School, so the elementary school. So I thought that was, like, anyways, it shot through the heart. But and the people who I see taking up language, or the ones who have had success, are, like, are some of the women in more in, like, the 30 to 50 kind of range. So yeah, that's been really awesome to see. And there's a lot of great work happening there in Chiging. Mission. You kind of answered that other question. Mission, like, which generation? You said Another question is, do you remember a moment you were proud of? What was that?
Moment I was proud of. Yeah. I remember at our last immersion camp, we were doing the exercise, different exercises when we're going in a circle, and doing like little stretches or little exercises. And I wanted to do a squat. I didn't know how to say that, so I just said "Kweche namadabin," try to sit down. And then Natik was like, "Oh, Rishin, Kweche namadabin," and I don't know if that was correct or if he was just being nice. What do you what I was saying?
You were understood.
I was understood.
That's my favorite thing. You understood.
So yeah, and I remember having a hard time at that immersion, but like once I got a little bit of praise, I was like, oh, I think that's what I needed to like try again. So yeah, that really went a long way to me, like continuing to push myself in immersion. And yeah.
Another question is, what has been challenging about learning Anishinaabe And I'll do like, there's a few extending questions, so you can kind of take it how you want, and so I'm going to add those. So what does it mean to be a second language learner? And like, what are some of the barriers you have experienced in Anishinaabe
Yeah, there's a lot. It's hard. It's hard work. But I mean, that's the other thing. People don't recognize language acquisition as work when it takes a lot of time and dedication. The fact that like I wish it was a job, and I know that maybe I think out in Minnesota there's actually a program where it is a job to like sit down, learn the language, learn the language from first language speakers. And I think that's how language should be treated at this point, given the urgency of our situation. In terms of barriers, yeah, money was the biggest thing. I was able to take this program because I got RHT, and that covered my expenses and living expenses. Mind you, the Chiking First Nation did give me a stipend, so that was really nice. But yeah, I think that was the biggest barrier was the money and needing a means to, or having money to live and have my shelter and et cetera. There was other barriers are things like I think the biggest thing was kind of like overcoming my perfectionism, like and I'll wait until something's perfect before I say something. I'll wait until something's perfect until I talk to so and so. So I just keep waiting, and then it never comes, and I never get better because I'm not practicing. Or maybe like I'm writing it down, but like I'm not saying it. Who knows if it's conjugated correctly? So yeah, that was one of my bigger hurdles, was like the perfectionism, the social anxiety. Like I feel like I don't really talk a lot even in English, but it's hard for me to talk in English too. And like, so to have it in a second language is like, and trying to come up with things to say is very challenging. But there's also like the shame. Because I think a lot, I don't know. I remember this was kind of a nice moment, even though it was kind of a shamey moment. Like I remember I said something kind of strange. Like I was trying to figure out how to say a certain word, and then someone overheard me and was like, "We don't have that sound in our language." And then I happened to be sitting with like other first language speakers, and what was really nice was that they heard the sound that I said, and then they came up with like examples of that sound in our language. So it's like, that was really nice. Anyways, so that was really, I felt really like supported. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, I felt really supported by that. Our first language speakers are just very generous with their time and their support. But yeah, there's a lot of shame and I don't know where, I mean, we know where it comes from. It comes from colonization, but like that's very, it's just very pervasive. So yeah, sometimes that's a bit of a barrier, is like worrying about feeling shame and you don't want to feel it and you try to protect yourself from feeling it. But It's kind of unavoidable.
Yeah.
And yeah, you learn to build a thick skin, unfortunately.
Yeah, all you language learners, this is us kindly saying you will have to put that thick skin. Put the thick skin to use. But it's worth it, and it won't always be like that.
And
Not in every community, and like how you were supported, not everyone will have those same reactions. I think also what I've been learning like through my students this past week was like, don't take it personal.
Oh yeah,
For sure. Like when someone is trying to correct you or share it in a certain dialect or however, and they may be like, oh, you're not right or whatever. Half the time, you're pretty close. You know what I mean?
Totally.
Right? You're pretty close, and so it's like if they're not, don't take it personally. They're just trying to help and all of those things. And sometimes it's just like, well, I'm gonna show up today, you know, and it's not even good enough, but it's good enough for me, right? Like, by whose standards? No, for sure. I definitely believe that too, and especially how you'll find those communities where they do support you, and when you have to kind of put that thick skin on to find those communities, and half the time that's what you find in common. That's the middle ground. Is like we don't want to recreate that. Absolutely, we do not want to recreate that, but we'll make that warmth of a space. One of the other questions was, what does it mean to you to be a second language learner? And maybe like, do you consider yourself one, or how have you navigated that?
Ooh, that's it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I totally consider myself a second language learner. It's this is illustrated by Miigwech was telling me something that has really stuck with me. Was no, it was when you called nswi. So Miigwech, we were required to do to do different activities with our students, and Miigwech was diligently doing writing out instructions and had the right grammar, and everything was spot on with according to our grammar rules. And then she called nswi, and she said it was not wrong, but that's not how she would say it. And I was like, and then that just I don't know how to say it. I thought I understood what a second language learner was, and then that happened, and I was like, oh geez, there's so much that I don't know, and probably
nuances.
And the nuances. Yeah, there's some things we can only get from a first language speaker, and that also kind of felt like it lit a fire under my butt too, because I was like, oh no, this is really, it added to the urgency of the situation, because a lot of our first language speakers are, as you guys know, are getting older. So yeah, I think that story really, that situation really reminded me oh yeah, I am a second language learner, and you can learn the grammar, but there's other things that are happening in our language that maybe don't get replicated well in a school setting, and understandably so. But I'm not what's the word? I'm not.
You're not knocking.
Thank you. I'm not
acknowledging that there are two different ways of learning.
I'm not knocking grammar, because I think that's it's foundational to your understanding and your comprehension. But yeah, first language being reminded of that was very, I don't know, I think it was a very timely reminder.
Well, even in the classes that we were taking, we took grammar, but we also took reading, we took writing, we took speaking, conversations, listening. There's all these different skills that you need to acquire a language. And then on top of that, there's the way that first language speakers speak.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit different, because they've been speaking it since they were young, and they have certain ways that they say things and certain expressions and just different ways and different things that we get from different people. Right? Yeah. Miigwech for that reminder.
And that was awesome. Well, Miigwech for sharing that experience with Miigwech.
It's not right. It's not wrong, but it's not
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna share something, totally forgot. Miigwech for sharing. Didn't need to share it. What's it called? I continuously ask that question is because me in my own language journey, I would not acknowledge I was a second language learner.
Oh.
Probably not even till like 2 months ago. I wouldn't acknowledge it. That's why.
Why?
That's why we're labeled nswi, nenda-gikenjiged, and Anishinaabe second language learner of Anishinaabe. Because I was feeling like, oh, I just don't have enough to consider myself a learner. I just have phrases. And so like a big part of like creating this podcast, which stemmed out of your daban, us just talking, was really to like help others be like, when you're learning, you are a second language learner. I feel like there was so much as well as like I carried shame of being like, well, what does it mean to be a second language learner when I don't have speakers in my own community and all of those things. And man, I don't know. Yeah. And so for me, I love when I hear people are like, no, I am a second language learner, because for me, it took a really long time for me to be like, no, even these phrases, I am that. Like I am learning.
What was that turning point, Jacqueline? That was fairly recent.
Yeah.
I think it was our class, and I had to sit with myself and ask, well, what am I doing this work for? For me to not acknowledge the work I'm putting in, right? For me to say I'm not this, while I have our entire community, our entire Bidawe Demoa Nimking Bidabang community, the nenda-gikenjiged learning team, believing in me, and our first speakers coming to our class and believing in us, and all of our community saying you're doing this work, and for me to, in the back of my mind, to be like, I'm not that, right? And I was like, that's so, I need to change that. That needs to shift. Something needs to shift, because I have this entire community backing me and believing in me and saying, you are this, and I am, but I couldn't, there was a roadblock in my own, like spirit, my own being. There was just a roadblock in being like, no, I am doing the work, because it felt like I wasn't doing enough, or it's not good enough, I'm not pronouncing it right? Like, we're going through all the conjugations, why don't you have it? You're spending time doing this, and so it was that for me. And so that pivoting was just like, well, or I guess acknowledging, because there was a huge roadblock of like, no, I'm not a second language learner, I'm learning the language. But no, I wouldn't even acknowledge I'm learning. I'm like, I know phrases, right? It wasn't even I'm learning, it's I know phrases, which it's not. Like, you are learning. And so for me, I had to I guess break out of that little roadblock. I don't know how we would say, but for me that was huge. And I know I'm not alone in that, because I've experienced that with a lot of my own community, and I talked to a lot of natives from across like Indian country, because I went to like native boarding school, and so a lot of them are native but not Anishinaabe, but they have their own language and their everything. And so we talk about language a lot, and they're like, it's part of the imposter syndrome. To say I'm a second language learner, well, what does that connotation mean? What does that carry for me to acknowledge this in the spaces I'm in? And like, kind of also the weight that is also exists when you are learning the language, because once you, like you said, and we all know, once you get to a certain stage of the language, you're always expected to just be ready on the go, and it's like, I actually don't have that vocabulary. Time to shit. Not yet. And so I think there was a big all of that encompassed in being like, oh well, like, yeah, I am. Intimidation. It's very intimidating to say I am this when it carries a lot of weight.
Yeah. I remember when I first met you, Jacqueline, like, I remember really like admiring how much you loved the language and really appreciated it, and how much you used it. Like, I remember the first time we were in my dog, you were like, oh, you know what? Maybe I don't have a lot of language yet, but you know, I use what I can. And you were telling me how like I don't know, always remember this for some reason. Well, the reason is that it like really touched me, is because like you said, oh yeah, like I'm walking down the road and maybe I see Matik, so I pick Matik up and say, Ani Matik, and keep walking.
It's isolating. So Ani Gizes, Ani Jidamu, like all of the things, like it just the colors that you would notice. And Bish, I never I don't call it water. It's just like Bish, Bish, you know. And yeah, that's been a big part of my own journey too, because I was is so isolating. Like I left home, but yeah.
So yeah, I try to think of Jacqueline every day when I'm like, I should use the language every day, like Jacqueline. As no.
Or and so am I saying? And so it's not. I was like, wait, that's not right. It's not and so gijagut. See, but I caught it.
Second language learner.
I love it.
Oh shoot, there was something else I was going to say about that, Jacqueline. But yeah, you inspire me to use the language every day.
I'm inspired by yous. Like all the time. That's why I'm
all you guys too. not just
We've been running into that all the time. See, but that's been rubbing off too much. Who did it last night?
Oh yeah.
Actually, it was you. I forgot what you said. Oh, when you went and signed in under class and you were ganjira. But yeah, I'm rubbing off too much on you guys. You remember? gives you the look. Remember? One of the other. Oh, well, I guess you kind of answered it. But another question is: have there been moments where you wanted to put Anishinaabe to the side, or that were challenging?
Yeah. Especially with, well, I mean, I really appreciated like the opportunity to help with teaching because like it showed how much I learned, how much I don't know, where I need a little bit of practice and the opportunity to practice. But the other challenging thing with teaching and students is that like it's hard. Yeah, I have a hard time when they have a hard time, and it's hard to navigate that situation, and I don't take it personally, but it's like, oh, I've been there. I know where you're at, and I don't know how to say that in the language.
Yeah, I want to give you a hug.
And I want to give you a hug.
I don't even know you.
I don't even know you.
And I don't even know how to ask you if you want to hug. Or if you'll understand if I did say that.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. So that was. It's not that I wanted to put the language down, but it was
a challenge.
But yeah, so far there hasn't been a time where I wanted to put the language down. But I think that's because I've only been really like intentionally studying for like how long? 8 months. This program. Yeah. Like I mean, of course I learned growing up too, but this was. But revisiting again after being away for so long, it's like it feels like now I'm really like intentionally studying and putting in some effort. So yeah, so far so good, but like
with question in there.
But yeah, I do worry about like what about when I go back to having like a 9 to 5? I feel like what does language learning look like then? I don't know. So. But yeah, it's really hard, and but yeah, you have to really want language in order to get far. So it's I'm pretty sure I know I'll make the time. So far, there hasn't been a time where I wanted to quit. Knock on wood.
We're not gonna I definitely feel that too because we have a week and a half left. Like and I'm like, well, what does it mean? What does our journeys look like when this is done? I literally was sitting in the classroom today with Tammy, and I was like, I just like feel so like part of me's little piece is missing because I know we're leading up to something different, and I'm like, same how you're feeling, not stop. I don't know what language learning looks like after, like depression. It's on the agenda. No, I don't think it necessarily that way, but I block out some time for that. That was really that for real was a joke, but I mean
definitely a joke.
Well, like for the ones who are listening don't know how we just joke
it's also very rewarding.
Yeah.
but it's very hard. And you need to like know how to laugh at
Yeah,
yourself.
you really do.
Yeah.
But I guess I said that in way of being like, to me, when I see language happening after this program is like, I feel like back to isolation, and that's where it's like hard. And depression's a nice way to code it for between isolation, because I feel like, even though it's not that, but I think it is very isolating when you're on your language journey, and like, it's different. I mean, now we have each other, and that's beautiful. But it's going to be different, right? And I'm like trying to acknowledge it or not acknowledge it, not sit in the classroom and just cry. And I'm like looking at Tammy, and I'm like, I miss you. Like just, and also the fact that we've literally got to understand each other's like body language, the way I look at you guys, and it's just like you understood. And like right now, like we're partly during the school day, we're in immersion. And so a lot of it is also like picking up on each other's like, oh, what do you need help with? Let me help, like, you know? And so I'm just like, oh, it is going to be different. But yeah, I'm definitely feeling that too. I'm like, it's going to look different. But we can navigate it. We will, because all of us are not giving up on our language journey. And that's...
It's really hard because I've started to have like language guilt. Like, oh, why am I not studying right now? Why am I not studying the language right now? Or or when I'm driving to North Bay, I'm like, oh, I should be listening to like a big language guilt. Holy.
You don't have that?
You don't have that? She can't quick.
Wait, what's the secret? You need some of that.
I think the first year that I was learning, because I've been learning for almost 2 years now, consistently. I was constantly, like, I stopped listening to music. I would just only listen to recordings. And I stopped, like, calling people to talk to them. And I would only talk to people about language. Like, I was, like, so intense about it. But, like, you also, like, still need to do things, other things that you enjoy.
Totally.
You still need other things in your life. And, like, it's not a bad thing to, like, be like, oh, I should be learning language, and I, like, maybe you should be, I don't know. Maybe I should be. But I just, like, there's other things too, and I think it's okay to, like, take a break and to take care of yourself in any way that you need to.
Yeah. Totally.
I've definitely felt that too. I was creating these quilts this last few months. So I created 4 quilts, and it's taken about 30 hours. I'm a slow learner. I'm a slow everything. I'm a slow crafter, but I love it because that's also how Gikenjiged like has made me show up. Like that's how I show up, even though it's not the pace that most people are. But anyway, when I was working on these quilts, it's taken about 30 hours, and something tangible was showing me the time. I made time for those quilts, but why wasn't I making time for the language? And then I had to like work through it, and it was like, but that is something you also love. So that's beautiful that you're making time for that. And it's like, that is healthy. It's very healthy to have those different environments where you're able, because your brain is used so much, but different parts of it. And that I definitely feel that. I also always feel like why am I not learning? Why am I not using this moment? I'm like scrolling, but I'm scrolling.
I'm scrolling.
I remember being like also really, really hard on myself, and it was like, okay, but you can't do that. That's not sustainable. Like when I was like, but you're crafting, you're making beautiful like things, and you're like, and it was something tangible, and that the fact that it's healthy to do that, and I know that brings health into my life. It made me see like, okay, it's okay to have those separate, and it's really hard, and I feel you on that. All to say, really like, definitely not alone. It's hard.
Oh my god.
Just kidding. In those challenging moments, where do you draw motivation and even kindness into your own journey for yourself and those around you as you move through your journey?
Oh, geez, what a good question. Yeah.
So there's like kindness in there, and there's motivation. So like, where do you draw those right now is like, that's too much. Mushkine. But I see you as someone who brings kindness into spaces, and you're always smiling and like. But I don't know if you know you do that, but you do. Yeah. She said, "Caw." You really do. I always can come in with a smile.
Well, like when I'm like when we're in teaching, or when Ashley and I are, I know I'm trying to help Ashley as best I can. I'm like, it's okay. I remember like I remember how Jacqueline makes me feel.
Don't make me cry.
Yeah, you're gonna make me cry too.
Oh my goodness.
That like that you don't have to have the most language to be like to contribute to a classroom. Like you, I'm not saying you don't have the most language. You know what I mean?
I do have to listen.
Jacqueline rubbing it off on me.
I really don't. Hey, we're being honest on here.
You wanted honesty.
Yeah. You wanted honesty. We're giving up. So all our students listening. Oh goodness.
Oh, chicken off. I kicked the camera off.
Oh geez, so we were kind of in mid-sentence. So it was about Becca. Oh yeah, in like challenging moments or just on your journey where you draw motivation and even kindness into your own journey. Again, you bring kindness just by your smile. Where you go in spaces, like all the spaces. At least that's how I felt. Holy. Even when you extended your daba and you're like, yeah, I got space and like I see kindness. But anyway, how do you extend that kindness to yourself in your journey?
Yeah, and I think I was talking about you. I turned that back on you. Reflexive verb. Yeah. Jacqueline, where was I with that? I was saying, yeah, when it's really challenging. This is so weird. Yeah, when it's really when times are really challenging, I think of certain memes. Miigwech, like when I feel like I when I'm hard on myself for not knowing enough, I think of that meme that's like the vibe I bring to the function, and then like it's like I don't know, it's like happy like Patrick Star. I usually think of Patrick Star, and he's like, he's just there, like it's okay to bring the vibe. It's a good thing to bring the vibe.
That's what I have, just bring vibes.
And I love that.
You do that too.
Next. No, because yeah, it means a lot to me, Jacqueline. That like, well, I mean, you just always made me feel like I belong. That's huge, and feeling like you belong is like a huge part of like feeling more confident and comfortable to like move in the language and like speak in the language. And anyways, so that's helped me through some pretty tough times.
You've done that for me. Oh my goodness, you really
no.
have done that for me. I still cannot, like, again, this podcast, majority of it, not majority, where we started was like talking about what does it look like to talk about our journeys and your daba.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And like you made that space for me as well, and just you don't you won't acknowledge it, and I don't know why. Same way I won't acknowledge it. Of like
look who's talking.
But
humility. It's one of our teachings.
So true. But Bnehns, I gotta just acknowledge your smile that you bring into the spaces all the time.
The vibe you bring to the function.
And the vibe you bring to the function. And now every time I see you, I'm gonna think Patrick Star.
I'm surprised I haven't sent you any of those.
Oh, you can.
I have like a whole library of different like Patrick Star.
Wait! Bnehns, I wanna start crying. Wait, you don't even know.
The one push pause.
Memes are my love language. I'm not even kidding.
Like I was thinking thinking about the one today where Patrick is like, he like nailed like a board to his head when we were in Marcus's like thing, and I knew we were trying to do it in third person, but it's like, I think I could just do this in first, but that's okay. At least I'm trying, and people can see I'm trying, and that's okay. So the vibe I bring to the function is like Patrick with the board nailed to his head. I'm trying. What's your tone?
It's funny because I know what you're talking about. His face is like, huh?
Yeah, but you see that he tried because he nailed the thing to his head.
Oh, geez, Patrick.
Patrick Star, yeah. And then I sent this one to my parents. It's like, it's not a common meme, but it's a picture of him that I really like. And he's like, he has his little nightcap on, and he's, for some reason, he just got out of bed and he's crying. He's crying into a pillow, like silently. And
After immersion.
Usually, yeah. But this time it was like, oh man, one of the young ladies who was here, like she was having a hard time, but I heard her singing "Get to Goning," and I texted that to my parents, and then I sent that meme of like Patrick like just crying into the pillow.
Yeah. Oh, that one with joy.
Yeah, tears of joy.
See those memes, just like in
Yeah.
Shaman context. Context is needed.
Memes are medicine.
Miigwech. We're gonna have to talk after this.
Trade memes.
No joke. No joke. Hold on.
Separate group chat. Memes
Memes on this shit. So another one of our questions is, what about learning Anishinaabemowin has brought you joy or laughter?
Oh, that's a good one. Joy or laughter? We laugh all the time in immersion. It's whether you say some, it's a lot of fun in immersion. But even just times like this when we're like debriefing about the day and like trying to get through everything, helping each other without crying. What else? Being like, I remember I went home for a little bit, and I remember like understanding a few things when I heard the language around me a couple of times. I was like, oh, and like being able to like mark your progress by like seeing like or hearing, being able to hear the language and the different like grammar parts that we study so much, and hearing them like in context and in live conversation. That's pretty special. But even it doesn't even have to be like. I also meant like on recordings as well. Like I'm starting to hear that now. I'm like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I can hear who's who, and like, or I sometimes I think I do. And when it happened, yeah. What else? Those are the main things that have brought me joy so far. But
Joy and laughter.
Joy and laughter, yeah. Always lots of joy and laughs. Yeah.
Miigwech.
It also feels like
your embarrassing story.
Well, that's coming up.
Ashley couldn't wait. What was? Oh, jeez, I was gonna say something else. Joy and laughter. Joy and laughs. Lots of great Anishinaabe memes out there.
We appreciate you, meme makers. You're teaching us to.
We learned from the memes. True that. Joy and laughter. There was something else. Oh yeah, that was, of course, like it just like learning about who I am, and like there's lots of joy in that. Joy and also joy in the fact that like I know I've wanted this for such a long time, and now I'm finally doing it and have the opportunity to get to learn with you guys, and it's fantastic.
It has been. What has a structured classroom brought you, and what is your perspective on a structured classroom? You talked a little bit about grammar, and we can kind of. I'll let you. We'll go ahead.
Last time you asked me that question, you had tears in your eyes. You're laughing so hard. What has a structured classroom brought you? I feel really lucky in the sense that like I've always like. I've done really well in like structured classrooms. Like I know that's how I learn best. I know not everybody has that privilege, I guess. So it's gotten me opportunity to like focus and space to like like concentrate, learn, and learn the way that I have been for my whole life. Like, I don't know how else to learn other than in like a structured setting. Well, I mean, of course we learn by like practicing and doing, but like this is the way that I learn foundational concepts. Yeah, so I'm a fan of the structured classroom, but I know there's other ways to that's not the only path to language acquisition.
Kind of stemming from that, I know a lot of people, me included, struggle with like the concept of it being considered grammar and all the things that come with it.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for those who may be shying away from that? I don't know. I'm getting to it now. I'm like, I see it. It clicks now, and I understand it now. But for those who are listening, who are like really just scared to even think about, like, grammar, I don't want to mess with that. That's too much. That's colonized, or like that kind of rhetoric, or like, I don't know, just words of advice. Concept.
Yeah, I think there's a couple things. That's such a nuanced conversation because, like, I don't know how else to learn grammar other than like how Nenotic has taught it, where it's like, and I appreciate what he's done in the fact that he's made it tangible. Like, you can physically put these conjugation charts down and physically move them with your hands. So he's incorporating like sight and senses by like touching things. But yes, grammar is really hard, and it's a real grind all the time. Yeah. Like, there's no shortcut to like memorizing those conjugations, and or at least not that I know of. If you guys know, let me know. It's repetition. It's memorization. It's Bechamel. Holy. It's those exercises. It's it's memorizing the patterns and the conjugations. So yeah, it is really hard, and you're not alone in studying them. What's the other thing? The other part to that is that I don't know any other second language learner who's gotten far without studying the grammar, or really like was able to advance their language. But everybody who's had success has said like, I studied, or I had to study the grammar in order to move to a point that I felt that I could have a conversation with somebody. So yeah, grammar's hard, but it's worth doing. It's foundational to our understanding. But like we talked about earlier, is that like there's also some things we can't get from grammar that we can only get from a first language speaker as well. So we're not saying like one is better than the other. We need both.
Mix.
Nice mix.
Yeah. I think that definitely brings us back to like, what is the definition of a second language learner? It's this is the mode we have to learn, because where we're at now in the language. I really like how you did kind of like mention it too, but like looking for those patterns. So I think about like the way you name or label things. I think in my own journey it's been like, maybe I don't label it conjugations right now until I can get comfortable with it, but look for those patterns, look for those endings. And so like that's kind of some of the advice I would share with others too, and you touched precisely on that, Miigwech, for that.
And that's also what Tammy teaches as well. Like, she teaches you to like, do you see something, do you see what's the same, what's different? And so that was always really, when I had her little brief little class, her rotation. It was super helpful.
I wish I could sit in on all of your rotations.
Me too.
I want to see you guys are teaching.
Oh yeah.
And you'll see me, TA. Teacher's assistant.
It's so valuable to watch other people.
It totally is.
I love it. I'm so incredibly grateful. I mean, and also that for me, that points out of like, your journey is your journey, because what a gift it is to sit there with someone who is leading in this way, right? And they're still gonna be that help. That's also for all you listening. Go ahead and put yourself in the space too, and you don't gotta jump right in, but you can do it. You can do it. You were Ashley. You were right. That was where the question was about the embarrassing. I don't know where it is. It's not here.
What brings you joy or laughter? It was the laughter that triggered the...
the memory.
Because I was wondering, I was like, where is it in my question? This one is similar stem, but we might circle back. It's like, were there any... That was it, but I think it got moved. Were there any aha moments? Or mage?
Oh, mage. mistakes,
Oh,
learning opportunities.
learning opportunities, as we like to call them.
Embarrassing moments. Like, I remember you saying that. Like, you don't have to share it. And you were like, oh, fuck.
I've told this story too many times. I'm just kidding.
I'm ready to listen. Okay. I got the tissue.
It gets better every time.
Yeah, it does. Any aha moment?
I wish people could see you from my perspective.
Wait, what's happening?
You were just any aha moments?
I didn't even notice. Or just too smooth. Oh my god. I really didn't.
I do. I'll have the. Sorry.
That's all good.
But I mean, I'll say my aha moment because it's short. And but like one time I was texting my dad in the language, and I was trying to figure out how to say something in past tense. And this was like early on when we were just starting like the grammar and the conjugations. Oh no, maybe it was more like December. But anyways, I was trying to figure out how to say something in the past tense, like whatever I did or whatever I was trying to say. And then that's when I realized, like, I was looking at the language and like it blew my mind that we have like the person and the tense and sometimes the other person depending on the verb, like all in one word. I was like, oh wow, like I don't have to look up like the past tense version of whatever word I'm looking at. Like it's incorporated into the word. So that was my little aha moment. I don't remember what I texted though, but like, and I don't know if it was right. Everyone, but it clicked. And that's the other hard thing that I know. It's hard to like give yourself credit.
Oh yeah.
As a second language learner, we're always just assuming people are being nice. And maybe we actually learned something.
I know you guys heard me say "esna" earlier instead of "and so."
Oops.
You knew what I was saying. Context. So true. You don't know if they're being nice or if you're right.
Yeah.
Both. You're a little right and wrong. No, I'm not coming back.
Well, this isn't an aha. Well, maybe it kind of is, but like just like immersion's just really. This is another aha moment, but like Shikekwe and I were talking again, and we were talking about like how like. Did you really go to immersion if you didn't cry at least once? Or almost cry. Almost cry.
The scale's pretty low.
But the scale's pretty low. But why that was an aha moment is that it's like, oh, it's not just me who feels like all these crazy feelings. Like it's almost normal to like be so like overwhelmed and have all these crazy thoughts going through your head, like, oh, I'm not smart, or oh, I'll never get this, or like, I want to quit, or like, this is really hard. And it is hard.
It is.
And and why don't I know this already? We've done these conjugations for months, but like, it's hard to do it in the moment. There's so many things going on. You're not talking to a piece of paper, you're talking to a person, and there's like more communication that goes on with that. And so yeah, that was an aha moment, realizing that like, oh, it's normal to feel so. It's normal to feel really intense feelings, whether that's like intense bad or intense good, at an immersion. Yeah, and so that was a nice little aha moment too.
Not alone in that.
Not alone.
Shoots, yeah. Now back to our question.
Okay, let me set this up. Okay.
No.
Set the scene.
Set the scene.
So we were at, well, Ashley was there too, but not like when it happened. But like,
I didn't get the first version.
no, but Jacinta and Jacinta and Nanatik were partnering for, well, not just Jacinta. Jacinta was working for KEB, and they had like a family language conference. So it was about like incorporating language into the home. How do we do it? How do we support it? So there was different activities that were happening to it. And I went to one about food, Wisnada, I think it was called. Yeah, Wisnada, let's eat. And they were I'm sorry. You're not even looking at me. I'm still like okay, it's gonna be real hard editing this. Jacqueline, I'm so sorry. Okay, so I was at I gotta look at the table. So, yeah, nobody look. So I was at the Wisnada workshop, and we were talking about the facilitator Natalie. I can't remember her last name, but she did a wonderful job. She was teaching us like different fruits to put into a smoothie, and she split the room into two, and she split us into two teams. I was doing so well. She split us up into two. Thank you. She split us into two teams, and one of the people on my team was Ozawa. And I was just like, I just had my game face on because I'm like, I knew I wanted to like I'm gonna try to get into Eshke and Nishnabemjik. I'm so pumped for immersion. Special things happen there. I want to do it. I want to try. And so I was like, okay, game face on. Ozawa is there in my little group. I know he's on the committee, and I think he's in charge of like part of who gets selected. Mm-hmm. And so we're holding up different things. The game was to hold up like a piece of paper, and then you just say like I don't even think it was the game yet. It was just we were just reading the different fruits, and so I went in, and I felt like I started strong because I was like, oh, Wenesh Ween Tom, and I felt like that was pretty impressive. And then when it was my turn, we were holding. There was a picture of a raspberry, and I said, "Oh, Skudisman, Skudisman, oh, Skudisman." And Monty very, very graciously was like, "It's Miss Coleman."
I wish they got your facial expression.
I couldn't tell it without
Facial expression.
It's Miss Coleman. Just kidding, he didn't say it that way. He was very nice. And it was, the kicker was that it was also just written on the paper. I remember that. It was a big piece of paper that just said Scoman, and there was a big picture of a raspberry. We were just reading it.
You didn't tell us that.
Yes, I did.
I didn't remember that. I don't remember that.
And then it's like, okay, I guess maybe not this year then. Another year then. Next time.
I messed up.
Blew my chance.
Blew my chance.
I love your attitude though.
Miigwech. Well, that's the other thing. You have to be really. That's the other thing about Eshke. They want you to have a good attitude. had to hide my disappointment.
Behind the big paper.
Behind the big paper.
Just crying.
It gets worse. Okay, when you told this story, in the Daban,
In the top one, all those weeks later.
what was Alexis' reaction? Like,
Oh, yeah.
what was Alexis' reaction?
Oh, Alexis. So, Alexis, that's right. We were in the Daban going to immersion. And then Alexis, I told that story in the car because I clearly hadn't gotten over it.
It was just fresh.
Last time I told this story, you were like, I said, yeah, I wasn't over it. And then you were like, yeah, I could tell. Now you know how Nenda-gikenjiged hears you. No, that was funny when you said that. Oh, I ever laughed hard. Oh, yeah. So I was saying that I was telling Jacqueline and Alexis and Lexi the story too. And then Alexis was like, "What? That's the word I associate with you, Scudis." You used to say that all the time when we were doing one nswi Just talk about how I put it in my oatmeal. That was my go-to for a while.
So for those of you listening, what you're missing out on is, like, I opened up the podcast, I told you I messed up on the recording. So we went through the interview all the way before with Bnehns, and we heard the story. That was when we got the live reaction. But what you missed was me describing Bnehns when she told us, when we were in the Daban, and she's like driving, not even looking at us. She's not driving, she's not supposed to be looking.
driving real slow too.
But Bnehns, you wouldn't even, like, usually you would look at us.
Yeah, right.
It was so funny. I can't wait to listen to it for the fourth time. You gotta tell them not to. It's gonna be straight face. I'm a bad host because I don't know how to control my laughter.
That's the best.
Kind it up for you listeners. Oh goodness. Oh, okay. So back on track a little bit. So let's add additional questions.
Okay.
Be scared.
Oh, Vegas. Oh, Vegas.
Nishago na. So you talked a little bit about your dad and the role he's like played in your language journey. How has that impacted the way you show up for the language? Or has it?
Oh, this is a spicy question. I need a popsicle. It's hot in here. I need a popsicle. That's a good question, Georgia. Can I have a popsicle? I'm gonna go.
Need a break?
Overheating. Live.
I was so scared of your dad in immersion because of how well he spoke.
My dad.
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
He doesn't talk to me.
Oh. Well, that was my
Yeah, and then he spoke to me one day, and I was just like, but I understood what he was saying, and it was okay.
Yeah, he said you spoke really well.
Oh, geez, your dad speaks really well. Like, he's like really advanced. Like, it's like inspirational to me anyway, to like hear him speak as fluently as he does as a second language learner.
Yeah. That's such a great point, Miigwech. Yeah, it is inspiring to know that like a second language learner can advance to that level.
Yeah.
Right? And especially because he didn't have the internet when he was learning, which like
so
blows my
true.
mind. Yeah. My dad did say like, I mean, he's not shishaw about it, but he's like, yeah, no one would talk to me in immersion. So I was like, yeah, because of the like intimidation. He's like, yeah. So, anyways, and I thought that was kind of cute, but like, anyways,
It's isolating in itself.
isolating in itself. Yeah. No, like to me, my dad's just my dad.
Right.
Like it's always weird to me when an optic's like, I can't believe I'm teaching Alan Corbier's daughter, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, to me, I don't quite know what that means, I guess. Or, yeah, to me, my dad's just my dad, and I know he's always done amazing work. But to me, I'm like, well, everybody's work gets appreciated like that, right? Or like, or should, ideally. But yeah, like I said, when Miigwech spoke about my dad's fluency, I'm like, yeah, that is really inspirational to know that like someone can advance to that level of fluency. But I think something really interesting happens when teachers, because my dad did teach, he taught, excuse me, I think Jacinta actually was taught by him as well. And
She did share that.
yeah, she shared that on the podcast, on the pod. Yeah, but I think something really interesting happens, and I've heard other people say this too, so I know it's not just like a me thing. And it's that like teachers don't teach their families, and like right, like, and it's not that my dad doesn't want to teach. Sometimes I think it's just, I think my dad's just tried a couple of times to teach us, and maybe has been met with that rejection. So not rejection. It's not like he's tried to. I don't know how to say this, but like it wasn't.
As kids, like it's hard to be like, oh yeah, I want to listen to my parents. Like, I feel like that's a natural thing. So I get what you're describing, and all those parents listening, or those aunties and uncles who have nieces and nephews. You know, your kids like to challenge you in what you're doing, and they'll be like, well, it's not cool because you're doing it. Even though,
I understand that.
like when you're young, and like, and then when you get older, then you're able to be like, oh, that's why.
Yeah,
and that's what it's you. And the way you've described your own experience is like kind of some of that, right? When you're young, it's like, well, or also when you do have a parent who has that knowledge, right? You're like, it's always so readily accessible that you don't see how readily accessible it is. You don't know the difference.
But also when you're young, like you don't know, like, are other parents like this? Like, is this like, yeah, you don't know that, like, well, I mean, as you grow up, you understand that things are a little bit different for everybody. But yeah, where was I gonna go with that? But yeah, yeah, I guess I just didn't know that my dad was different. And like, again, that's like me stepping into this language space, like, it seems like everybody's heard of my dad, not to sound like
I
like
didn't. Maybe that's why we.
That's okay.
But like, because I was so early on in my journey, but I get what you mean, and that's kind of why I asked that question of like, how has it impacted your own like learning for like the good, or sometimes it makes it a little bit harder, right? Because I feel like
Oh,
Right, like from the
ah.
community I come from, or like my siblings, where they're like, "Oh, she knows a lot." I'm like, "I don't know anything." So like the assumption is that I
Yeah.
know a lot, right?
Yeah. And that was something that I would come across too in the community is like, well, why isn't your dad teaching you Anishinaabe? And like, it's like, well, like, why aren't you teaching your kids? I'm just kidding. You're like, it was, yeah. And, yeah, and that was another like just anxiety thing I had in my brain that sometimes plays is like, oh, like people, what do I think? I think something along the lines of like, people think I should be good at this because my dad, and if I don't achieve this, it's like it's gonna reflect badly on my dad. But like, no, that's not true. Like language is hard, and or like and then there's the other opposite end that I go to where it's like, well, if I have any success, people are gonna say, oh, it's because of her dad. Like, you know, like she didn't do anything. Like, but no, anybody who's learned Anishinaabe knows you have to want it for yourself in order to speak it. So, yeah. So it's like it's been a really interesting time because I've never really stepped into this bubble of like language learning, and then like to step into it, and then like people like know my dad, and then I understand like how I didn't realize like that other community, like I've just been in my little own Manitoulin bubble, that I didn't realize like other communities like don't have any speakers. Like Miigwech said, Miigwech doesn't have any speakers. Lexi said, I think, Mississauga. I also don't have any first language speakers left anymore. So like that urgency never really hit me until I met you guys. And so that was really eye-opening for me to like, get out of my little Manitoulin bubble and step into a wider like second language learner bubble. And so it's been overwhelming, but like in a very like some days a very positive way. If overwhelming can be positive, like there are I don't know, I've learned a lot about language, just stepping into the space of second language learners.
Miigwech for sharing that, because I kind of asked it because it's like we talk about layers to learning the language all the time, and I know like there's layers are good, bad, all of the above, and so like that's what I was thinking about for you. Like it's just an added layer. And there's like in the I view it as a good thing. Like an awesome layer. I want that layer. My kids are gonna have that layer. Right? Like my kids. Their mom's gonna be me. Don't be speaking. Well, so that was one of the aha. Okay, now. What do you look forward to as language resources are being made and you get to help create resources?
That's so true. Yeah. I'm looking forward to like when I feel comfortable and confident enough in the new community that I'm going to be practicing in to like host like a what I want to do is like do like a little mixture of like language learning and nutrition. So like talking about like doing a community workshop where we maybe learn the nouns one week, and then the next week we'll do like BAIs, and then we do VTAs, maybe in a mixture of VTIs. And then we'll do like some kind of immersion as best we can of like cooking a meal together. So I think that would that's like one of my little resources, I guess, that I want to like, or resources workshops that I want to construct, and there'd be resources that go along with that. What else am I looking forward to? I think I mentioned this here, but like I saw that Shrek is getting adapted into like an indigenous language, not Anishinaabe, but maybe one day it'll be adapted into Anishinaabe.
Do it. Oh wow, that's a goal. Oh my god, that'd be cool. But those resources. The holy forgetting what they are called right now. Video call.
Yeah.
I want to go to your workshop when you do that.
Oh god, I'm real shy. Bubble in my throat. Yeah, I'd be all shy. Shaka Wenmo. Oh yeah.
Oh, gosh, get tone.
Gosh, good tone. But and Shako and Mo.
Gosh, get tone.
Okay, I won't go.
No, wait, no, wait, I'm good. No, wait, come. Sometimes nobody comes to those community programs.
That's true. But that's not when you come, it's gonna help.
That
Oh,
would be- that, like, I got excited listening to you talk about that. That sounds so cool.
It's gonna be awesome.
I'll do a 4-hour drive for it.
Oh,
14-hour drive. 14.
Jacqueline. Oh, I'll pay your mileage.
Oh, God.
We can source it.
Send the smoke signals there. I'll be there. What are your own goals for your own language journey? And I always say be aspirational and like share what those goals that you have, because for me, I think speak it into existence. Like I'm literally here, where each of us are here for doing exactly that, you know?
Yeah.
So what are your own goals for your language journey?
Whoa, I just had a little moment. Like, I was thinking like, oh, like I remember, I think you were there, but maybe it was just me and Lexi, because me and Lexi were roommates. Anyways, we were talking about like our dreams and aspirations, and we were like, you know what, we really want to be asked to teach with Nenotic, and we wanted to get the Nenoticos t-shirt.
All different colors.
We were like,
Why do you think I pushed you to
yeah.
gotta know this?
Gosh,
I
Jacqueline.
heard you.
Yeah, you did.
was listening.
Yeah,
Did
you
you
must
get
have been there. I did get the shirt. I did get the shirt. Yeah. But then I had my imposter syndrome. Anyways, can't wear this.
We were driving the dog on.
Oh,
We
and
need the dash cam like
we need the dash cam.
Holy. When we're going to immersion camp. Those conversations be real good.
But yeah, yeah, we were talking about our aspirations. We were like, yeah, we really want to be asked to teach. And then at the time, we were both like, oh, I can't believe I said that out loud. But I love what you said, Jacqueline, like, be aspirational, because like it might happen, and now it happened. No, but it's good that it happened, because it made me realize like, oh, look, I think I can do this. And if not now, then maybe soon. Oh yeah, that's one of the things. It was like grammar is really hard to learn at this age. So like if I were to have kids, and me and my partner have been talking about it, like I'd want to try to speak to them in Anishinaabe as much as I could when their brain is still like young and smushy, and can acquire language a little bit more quickly. That way, maybe I don't have like a child who can speak it's their primary language, but they'll be a good learner, and they'll have the pieces already there that that maybe they won't have to work so hard at the grammar. But yeah, that's one of the aspirations I have. But another one is just to simply be comfortable having like on the spot conversations one day. Like if I were to see like Pina in the grocery store, or like there's other people in my community who still speak the language, because you never know like who might be listening, or who needs to hear that like a younger person can acquire a second language, and it's our language too. And even though it's hard, it's something that can be done. And this is how it used to be. We used to just like, my dad talks about, there was a time where like in Chiging, you would just go to the band office and you'd just hear it. Like people would just answer the phone in Anishinaabe and like be talking to their coworker in Anishinaabe, even though they would have to correspond in English, but like formally in English, but they'd be speaking Anishinaabe. That's just how it was. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, being able to contribute to building a community that is revitalizing their language. That's my big aspiration. Whether that's like just having a simple conversation, or doing workshops, or raising a little one who can have some understanding of the grammatical concepts and the language. So That's my aspiration.
Love it. Miigwech for sharing. Especially because a part of that is like letting your community lean in and help you get there. And that's this. Like making that allowed. I don't even remember what I said. Was that might not even been a question at the time. But yeah, that's a huge part. Cause I'm like, shh, whenever you have Bnehns, they're gonna call me on FaceTime. I'll read to them in the language.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like those type of things, and I mean that.
Oh yeah.
Like in those conversationals to even me, you get comfortable. All of us, like, oh, I love that. Miigwech for sharing those. The last question, and then we'll open it up. Any other?
Open it up.
For those beginning or have yet to, oh shoots, we can start. You guys have any questions for Bnehns? Anything that came up? Comments?
You've talked about your why before. Do you want to share that? A little bit of that?
Oh yeah, the why. The why keeps changing because we ask this one in class.
There's so many whys.
There's so many whys, so many reasons. Yeah, I think there's so many reasons. One of them that I haven't touched on already, because I've touched on a couple, like contributing to my community, furthering the health of Indigenous people, and just like understanding myself as a Anishinaabe. Another why is it got too long. I took too long to get to the point. I think, that was the other why. It was like, was understanding that like, contributing to overall language revitalization. So whether that's like, there's more kiddos today who are learning the language and have it as their first language, and they need people to talk to. And so one of them can be me. So that's another one of my whys is the Benoji Sak, Omche Benoji Sak. Geez, so many whys actually. But yeah, that's a really great question. But yeah, and then learning language from my dad and my grandpa. I know the language is very important to them both, as it is for all of us, of course. Yeah. So I think those are some of my whys that I haven't already said, but like making it feel a little bit more normal, because something that I hear a little bit when I'm listening to certain podcasts is that like language, and we've touched on this already, but like language learning can be like isolating when you don't have anybody else to talk to. And when we see English everywhere, it might mean a lot when you walk into a dietitian's office and you see like Skurisminak or like Mashiminak written on the wall, right? Or Skoman. I'm not putting that one up there. But like, yeah, I remember I went to a hospital on the island, and they had like the word some of their signs translated into Nenda-gikenjiged, and like I knew some of those words, and I was like, oh, like it. At the time, it felt like a lazy. Oh, sorry. Oh, jeez. It felt like a lazy way to say we did truth and reconciliation. But at the same time, I was like, oh, it does feel a little bit more. Now that I'm like language learning, being able to see something in my language, and it's a little bit different. It's like, because I know at Eshke they even cover like the exit sign, or I've heard they cover the exit sign and it says, I don't know what it says, but like
I've heard it. I've heard it, but I'm waiting to see it. Me go get me.
Yeah, but just being able to see signs in Nenda-gikenjiged and just like passively look at them even like feels a little bit more immersive than not having them. Yeah.
I know what you mean. I went to Science North last summer, and they played the announcements in Anishinaabe, and I was like, what? No way.
What?
And I noticed they had signage too that was Anishinaabe.
Oh, that's awesome. What?
I was like, what?
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's the goal.
Yeah.
It's the goal. Miigwech for sharing a few of your whys. I know mine keeps changing and adding too, and usually when people ask me, I say the mediocre one, and then I'm like, there's actually so much more. That's alright.
The non-crying version.
That's another episode. That's another episode. Did you have any questions or things that felt familiar?
I didn't. I was just like, I really enjoyed listening to you speak.
Oh, Miigwech Bnehns.
Yeah. Yeah, I really enjoy the conversations we have, and I really enjoy getting to learn and to teach with all of you.
So the last question we have is for those beginning or have yet to start their Anishinaabe journey, do you have any words or any advice or words of encouragement for them?
Yeah, don't wait till you're perfect. Just do it. And that's the hardest. That's hard. That's hard. But yeah, there's so many times where like my own perfectionism got in the way of like me like trying and learning. So yeah, don't wait. Just do it and try. And it's really hard when you mess up. But we've all been there.
Still there.
Yeah, still there. Yeah,
Gonna be there.
Gonna be there. Did you really go to immersion if you didn't cry?
Another slogan.
But yeah, like, and I'll share this because my dad said it on podcasts, so I think it's fine. But like, is that like my dad would say like things similar would have similar sentiments of like, oh, he was worried about not giving us the language perfectly, and so as a result, like we just didn't acquire it. Yeah, and so I think about when I'm like really slugging through it, I'm like, how much further would I have been if my dad just stopped doing it? But no, I don't put that on him. I don't put that on him. I totally understand where he's coming from with that. So yeah, don't wait till you're perfect. It's good enough as it is. And so yeah. Miigwech.
Shoots, I gotta end this, but I don't know what to say. What? Me not knowing what to say? You struggle now. Oh, I remember, because I was two things I wanted to share. Oh, all those laughter moments you guys can't see when there's extra silences. That's because we're real live, going through these conversations together, laughing, and so those extra pauses, all those things. That's us being us. And there was two words I wanted to translate. You'll hear a lot of in the podcast, and for those who don't know, that means yes, and ka also means no, but that's kaween, gaween. But you'll continue to hear a lot of that, or geget, that's like truly, really in agreement. But anyway, you guys can also learn through context, like us. If I remember, I'll try to translate and give those to you guys. But yeah, I want to do the because I was like, they're really. I remember when I first learned I was like, gee, I sound crazy, but it's proper, or I'm saying it wrong. But anyway, that's what you'll hear in this episode. A lot of Miigwech for listening.
Miigwech.
And the next one we have is actually, it'll already be uploaded. And then we have our littles after that. Aww. And we'll see who's next. But anyway. Ask her. Nahau. Miigwech for listening. Stay deadly. Those who are listening, I forgot to add. Miigwech, she was a little quiet back here, but she was over here working on art, on her beautiful painting. Shoot's almost done in the time that we've taken to do the podcast.
Because they're teachers. That's the leader of the fish clan, and they're teachers. And it's us.
Aww. Anyway, for you listening, man, this beautiful, beautiful painting. Go check out Miigwech on Instagram. Beautiful, beautiful art.